You gotta love that intro music.
It's so good.
You gotta love it.
It's what gets me through this podcast.
It fires me up. I'm not gonna lie, man. So, episode 62, Chat with Gunner. Another long week. I tell you, every time I come in here, I'm like, I'm gonna be organized. I'm gonna have things written down. We're gonna have a great podcast, and then you just get slapped with life for a whole week, and then I show back up on Thursday at a different time. You know.
But hey, we're gonna make it through.
Do we got Little League Baseball? Having a workout for wrestling. Having to.
Oh, geez, that is this weekend, isn't it?
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I got to wrestle David Ali tomorrow. That's gonna be a blast. My ribs are just now starting to feel better, so most likely I'll hurt them again tomorrow.
God, what if you get in the ring and you do one of your power moves and then like a rib just starts sticking out? It's like full puncture.
Man, I've worked out. So I took that week off, but other than that, I've worked out hard the past 3 weeks, so I should be okay. I think. I don't know. What else, man? So I went to go watch Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Now, did you watch it in IMAX?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well.
So the only one we could get to last night was the 8:00 one.
Yeah.
And that was at UEC in Cleveland.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. But see, everyone was sold out. They had 7 screens running, and everyone was sold out.
Wow. Good. Like, if anything, especially we had a launch party last night for a new brand.
Yep.
And just the atmosphere felt like early last year. We were back to new normal. I don't know what you want to say. Like, everyone had a mask in their hand because it was, we're at a bar.
Right.
We were in the VIP lounge, but like people had their masks on under their face, like drinking under it and, stuff like that. But everyone was mingling. Everyone was conversing. We weren't all in different pods of, 2 or 3 people,
right,
6 feet apart. And I was looking at showtimes probably for this Sunday, maybe for IMAX, just because that's my next day off. But that's everyone's day off, being at, Easter.
Well, Marcus is a fan.
Of course.
Quite the fan of some Godzilla and some King Kong. I'm sure he'd be down to go watch it Sunday if you want to go.
Hey, man, I'll go with you. I don't mind.
So we could do like a Sunday evening one?
Yeah, sure.
Possibly. Maybe
I'm
IMAX.
I'm off all day. So.
I know he's going with his dad this weekend, so we'll get him back in the afternoon sometime.
Cool.
Figure it out.
Yeah, no. From what you've been telling me, I'm excited. I'm probably going to watch it between now and when I see it in the theater, but I want to see it in theater.
Marcus has watched it 3 times since last night.
What?
He watched it in the theater.
Okay.
As soon as we got home from the theater, which is Cleveland, so 40 minutes.
Jeez.
We put it back on. He watched half of it before we went to bed. Woke up this morning. He went to school. And then Tia got him early. And they've already watched it once. And they're going back through it right now. So that's 3 times.
3.5 times. That's, listen, like he is that prime age. Yeah. Like if he wants to watch something or he's like super into something, that's what you're going to watch for about a month.
Well, and it's only on HBO Max till the end of April.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So in the in the exclusives, they're only out for a month.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're only out until like the next big one comes out. So Mortal Kombat or whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mortal Kombat is this month.
Yeah, it's like the 17th, something like that.
I refreshed my HBO Max.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was going to play it. I was like, I'm going to watch Snyder Cut. So a couple days after it released, I bought another subscription for a month.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, now I'm going to get Godzilla and Snyder Cut and Mortal Kombat. What's the one after that? There's something else.
No, you're good. You got there's a couple months down period.
Okay.
I mean, there's other things coming out, but it's
I know Dune is coming to theaters last I heard, but I'm expecting it to come to HBO Max.
Probably so.
As well as Matrix 4. I feel like Matrix 4 is going to be
like Christmas.
Yeah. So I can unsubscribe.
So that was the first movie I've been to in a theater since COVID.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
What was the atmosphere in the theater?
So like I said,
just normal.
Every screen was sold out for Godzilla,
mm-hmm.
and I went with my brother-in-law and my nephew and Marcus. But so we had to sit separate. But we get there, and I mean, it was cool, chill. There was not many people wearing masks. Mm-hmm. Younger crowd, like a high schoolish type crowd.
Hey, it's a Wednesday night.
Yeah. But I mean, packed out in Cleveland, not pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a huge line that they told all the Godzilla. Like, that's the only thing they showed last night.
Yeah.
Was Godzilla.
I mean, to be fair, that's like the biggest thing at the moment. Like they're doing basically reruns. That's what they did all through COVID. Because I watched Empire Strikes Back in theater. And that was awesome.
I bet.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because it was in the middle of COVID.
And you're the only
one in there.
The only person?
I was the only one in there. And I was literally just like Snapchatting and just like freaking out. Because I was like, I have never been in the theater alone. This is awesome.
And that's like...
And I paid $10.
That's like 1970 shit right there.
77, yeah. Like, and that's one of those things where I think I will remember that for the rest of my life. Because it's Empire. It's the best Star Wars movie.
So is it different watching it in the theater than it was ever watching it at home?
Yes.
So you kind of got to witness...
I got to feel Star Wars again. And I watched, Force Awakens. I watched Rogue One. I watched Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. I watched all of those in theaters. And most of them, a lot of these big, tentpole movies, blockbusters, I've seen like opening night.
Yeah.
So I get to experience them with people. Like
there's a difference.
Like Infinity War and an Endgame. Those are movies that you had to have seen in theater on opening night.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Right. And
a lot of people always say like, oh, I hate when people applaud in movies and stuff like that. But it's like, that's the experience though. Yeah. If you're going opening night, that's the experience you should expect. And I love it. I live for that shit. Deathly Hallows Part 2. I don't know if you ever saw the Harry Potter movies.
Mm-mm.
But like as a kid growing up on the Harry Potter movies, that was an experience to live for. And now that I'm older, more introverted, which is crazy. I thought I'd get more extroverted.
Right.
Which I am, to be fair. But being able to fulfill the introvert in me and just be like, I just want to go see Empire Strikes Back alone. And I did.
Yeah.
I expected a couple people there, but there was nobody there.
Right.
It was awesome. Felt like I was in the 70s and I enjoyed it very much.
Dude, if they put Rocky 4 on the big screens, which, check me out, they're doing a director's cut of Rocky 4.
Yeah. Why not?
Like, that's what Sly's working on as his next project.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I will be there in the theaters to watch that.
Yeah. No, like they've been, like I said, they've been doing reruns. So I'm sure at some point there was, I think I remember like right around Empire was out in the theaters. They did Rocky. I think just like one or two.
Yeah.
But still like that again, it's that experience of like, I was able to visualize like what it would have been like in the 70s or technically the 80s for Star Wars, but like just being able to go back in time a little bit and just forget about the outside world and just be there with a movie. Cause like what's bad is I feel like having my phone is always going to numb my viewing experience of any movie. Cause I'm just going to be on my phone half the time.
Yeah.
Well, not half the time. If I'm very engaged with it, I'm going to be watching the movie. But like the Snyder Cut, I've seen Justice League already. I put my phone down when I like saw something new, and I knew what was coming up, and I was like, oh, gotta watch this.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's over, as soon as I see something I recognize, I'm just like, just gonna scroll Instagram or Twitter or something like that. So I mean, being able to tell myself, no phone. Just go into the movie theater. You're not supposed to have your phone, even if I'm the only one in there. Just don't look at it. Just experience it. And I do. I'm just gonna.
You should just leave your phone in the car.
I've done that a few times when I go to movies alone. Have I told you the Blade Runner 2077 or whatever?
Nope.
It was a rainy night, and it was like a Tuesday or a Thursday night, like as Blade Runner had released.
Right.
I was like, I just want to go out. I just want to do something. I don't want to stay home. Put on my jacket. Said, good night to my roommate because I think he was going to bed as I left.
Okay.
And I just got in my car. I didn't know I was going to go to the movies.
I love that. Just drive and then
I just drove and I drove over to the rave. It was the rave at the time.
Yep.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go watch a movie. Blade Runner's out. And I just got out of my car, walked in the rain. There's nobody there. It was pretty dead. Walk in. There's maybe, I think there was one other couple in the movie theater with me. But I just sat like up on the top row, which I never do, by the way. Because you go to the theater, you want to sit in the center.
Right.
But I just sat up on the top row. I just watched the movie. I got out, went to Waffle House. It was a whole like surrealist experience.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's cool.
And I just listened to the music with my headphones in. I was just like, oh.
Dude, I love going through the world in life with my headphones in where I can't hear what's happening around me, but I feel like I can feel it.
Oh yeah. That is a sense. It's like getting in the zone. It's just like you move through the motions.
Like, they say you shouldn't drive with headphones in, right? Like that's kind of a thing.
Well, whoops.
Yeah. Well, that is the only way to drive.
Oh yeah. I have Bluetooth, like basically AirPods. Yeah. So I can do the one ear, and I put it in my bad ear. Like one ear is decently good at like hearing, car horns or ambulances or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I put in music in my bad ear. I just fucking vibe, dude. Especially like Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Late at night, you go on the interstate, you just lights going by. Dude, it's a sense.
Jeez. How's the PlayStation?
Dude. So let me tell you the story of getting my PlayStation. I feel like everyone has this at this point. It gets to my friend's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is Monday night. And I'm like, okay, I've got my PlayStation. I've just got to get there. I've just got to take it. I've got to go home. I get my PlayStation. I start driving back to my house. There's a wreck in front of me.
Oh, no.
Like directly in front of me. Like a car. I am on the right side of the road. I'm in my lane. It's a 2-lane road. And the car in front of me just swerves into the opposite lane and just hits a car.
Head on?
Head on. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I slow down. I make sure everyone's okay. And I just keep going. Yeah. Like I did get out of my car. I'm one of those people that if I see an accident, even if it's like 20 minutes after the accident happened, I'll get out, especially at night, because you don't know if anybody's hurt. If both people are hurt, who's going to call the police?
Right.
Stuff like that. So I got out. I made sure everything was okay. I get back in my car. I start driving again. And then one of the roads that I thought was going to be open, because I tried to take a detour, is entirely closed. So I took a detour to try and get to a shortcut to get to my house. It was entirely blocked. So I had to take an even longer detour. Around 3 more accidents on the road.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, what is going on tonight?
Landmines.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, somebody's testing me. I have the care package. I am just trying to get home.
Yep.
And I just can't get home.
But you got home.
I got home. I plug it all up. I sit down on my couch. I turn it on. And the power goes out.
No way.
The freaking power goes out. And I go outside. I'm like, does everyone else have power? No. And so I'm like, all right. So I start getting candles together just so I can see. I grab my power bank that's in my like prep bag.
Yep.
I have one bag in my closet that's just like, it's got, first aid kit, flashlights, some batteries.
Right.
And one power bank. And I grab a power bank, start charging my phone, flashlight up, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm just going to bed. As soon as I lay down, power comes back on.
Nice.
So I'm like, good. All right. So I get back up. It's like 10 o'clock at this point. I power it on. It's a little sprinkling outside. And I hear the music on my new TV, HDR.
Oh, you got new TV too?
Yeah. I shelled out some money for a new TV.
Yeah,
It's like a TCL. It's like what we have here in the office. But I mean, it has HDR. It has 60 hertz refresh rate. It's 43 inches.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where on my old, I think it was a 32 that I bought in high school, basically, or right out of high school. I could not play a game while sitting on my couch in my game room. I had to have like a middle chair or like a beanbag, and I've been looking around. But buying a new TV, everything's bigger.
Yeah.
I can see. I am now able to sit on my couch.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I had the TV for about a week before I got my PlayStation. So I was prepped.
Okay.
So I power it on. I hear the sound, and I I plugged in my headphones to the controller so I could hear everything.
Yep.
And man, I am so happy. It sounds like I want it to. It sounds like the next gen. And I'll say this, I spent the first night, I didn't even download any games. I played the one game that came on it. It's called Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
And it is essentially a tech demo for like the controller to show you, oh, it does this, it does this, using every bit of the controller it can.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a Mario-ish game for like a Sony PlayStation vibe, but it's also like a time capsule for like Sony history. It starts you off, and it's the whole idea of like the game levels and stuff is that you play 4 levels, and they're all based on parts of the PlayStation 5. So the first level I tried out was called the GPU Jungle or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just puts in all of the particles and like grass as much as it can to show off how good the GPU on the PS5 is.
Gotcha.
And then it has like the cooling springs or something like that. And it just shows you like the water physics and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
The SSD superhighway. It's this red, like Tron looking thing, but it loads. That's the one thing. I knew it wasn't going to load quickly for old games.
Right.
But this new game, I could literally like, you can pick on like a map to go to the different levels, right? I literally click it. The Astrobot just jumps up, disappears, and then like everything shifts, or he reappears. Super fast, super quick, clean. Oh man, the controller feels awesome. The controller is like
that's a big thing.
Yeah, like it's definitely. I think Sony like took some pages out of Microsoft's book and just said, "Okay, we need bigger. We need
for the controller
ergonomics." Yeah.
A little weight to
there's way more weight to it. It feels amazing. And I used to get a little bit of a cramp in my pinky because of how I wrap around my finger around the controller. And usually, I guess maybe it's just like old habit because like as a kid, couldn't really hold on to the controller as well because I had small hands back then. Now I have massive hands. I grip basically bottom of my thumb, the pad of my thumb, and my pinky all the way around. That's how I grip like the hardest. And with this, I can't even really wrap it around, but I don't have to grip as hard because it just fits in my hand better. The vibration of the controller is really cool. The triggers have the adaptive triggers.
Yep.
They're really cool. But I mean, I started playing, Astrobot. I downloaded Destiny, the game I play basically all the time. It's super quick. It's in 60 frames. It's in 4K.
Yeah.
For the most part, I don't have any PlayStation 5 games yet. I have games that have like PS5 updates, like Ghost of Tsushima. Right. I downloaded that. Looks amazing. Feels amazing again. But I haven't really sat down to play it again.
Yeah. Just
because I haven't had time. Because at this point, with Ghost of Tsushima especially, I've got to remind myself where I'm at in the story.
Right.
Because I think I'm like, there's 3 parts of the island. I'm on the second part. But I'm also like having to rearrange all of my quests and stuff because I'm in the middle of. I finished the first island completely. I didn't want to have to deal with going backtracking and doing side quests and stuff. But now I'm like, oh gosh, this is entirely new again.
Right.
And it's just I'm struggling a little bit to remember controls and stuff, but I tried Cyberpunk, 100 gigabytes worth of a download, and then the day I downloaded Cyberpunk, they got a new patch that fixed a lot of stuff.
How long did that take?
It actually didn't take long. That was the awesome part. It took 56 minutes for the entirety of Cyberpunk to download.
That's strong.
Which I have it on disc, so it's a data disc and then the actual game disc.
Yeah.
So it helps it a little bit. But even downloading I think it's like a 40 gigabyte update, because it's all of the updates and then the newest one, which is super big. Only took maybe 30 minutes max.
Nice.
And I played a little bit of Cyberpunk. It again, all these open world games, you have to remind yourself where you're at, get reacquainted, get the bearings of the map again. So I haven't really gotten to sit down and just zone out for, a couple hours, but the games I have played, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Playing a game called Maneater. It's a shark game. It's literally just like
shark?
You're the shark. You just go around and
isn't there a Jason
stuff.
Game like that?
Friday the 13th, yeah. There's a Friday the 13th.
Jason in that?
Yeah.
Game?
There's also Predator. You just play the Predator.
Awesome.
I actually really like the idea of the Predator game, because it's called asymmetrical game. So there's 4 Marines in the jungle, and they have different it's kind of like Among Us, if Marcus has ever mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one Predator, or there could be multiple, I think. But usually there's only one Predator, and then 4 Marines. The Marines have to do X, Y, and Z, and then get to the chopper. And the Predator's just running around trying to kill them.
And you can be either the Marine or the Predator?
Yeah. And I like that because, one, either you get to have the experience of being in a small group playing against one guy.
Yep.
But the one guy's super strong. He's got camo. He's got, rockets and lasers and the freaking wrist, knives or whatever. Yep. So, I mean, you have a little bit of it. It's hard to make a game like that. You can tell, but when they make it right, it's so good.
Yeah.
Because there's games like Dead by Daylight, same kind of concept, but with like horror killers. That one has like the Leatherface, Michael Myers, Freddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dead by Daylight got a lot of licensed characters, and it's really cool. But yeah, no, PS5 in general, like, I'm really happy. I'm very happy that I got it. I mean, I've talked about it for 3 weeks now, it feels like. Just talking about getting one. But now that it's in my hands, I will say that there's like this, the sigh of relief, and then just like, what now? Like, you finally get something you were excited about, and then you're like, well, shit.
Isn't it the worst?
Yeah. Like, but that, I knew that was going to happen because, one, it's still we're only 3 months out from launch. Yeah. I've never gotten a console this early. So for me, when I got my PlayStation 4, the first game I bought was Overwatch, which was a very good game at the time. But I also had multiple games that I could go back to and find out that I liked, like Last of Us or Infamous Second Son, like those games that came out at launch that were really strong. But for the PS5, we're kind of still in that weird spot because the PlayStation 4 did so well. Sony can't afford to say, hey, Sucker Punch, you made Ghost of Tsushima, but we need Ghost of Tsushima to be running on PlayStation 5. Like, only. Like, you can't do that because, again, the PlayStation 4 sold gangbusters.
Yeah.
It's one of the best-selling consoles ever. So I think it may be like halfway through this console generation is when PS4 finally peters out. I don't think they're going to be all gung-ho and just being like, okay, everyone's next game is only going to run on the PS5, and that's it. It has to be cross-gen, which is sad because it ties down the game's potential. Because, I mean, if Ghost of Tsushima was only a PS5 game, holy shiznit, it'd be awesome. Cyberpunk. People have been saying like Cyberpunk should not have been tied down by last gen. It should have been just next gen. They could have delayed it 3 months and only worked on next gen. It would have been great. Would have been perfect. But because it's so tied down to last gen, that's why a lot of these issues have come up. But, it is what it is. You can't jump on something like this and expect to be fulfilled all at once.
That's for sure.
It's a 10-year, not 10-year, probably a 6 or 7 year old, or 6 or 7 year into the future console. So I got in on year 1, which again, never done that. Never had the financial capabilities nor really the want.
Right.
But this is one of those times where I'm an adult. I have adult money.
There you go.
I got to spend it how I wanted to, and I'm happy. I'm caught up on bills. Like, that's the weird part. So when I got my stimulus, because this is all because of stimulus,
right?
I told myself I'm going to pay my bills because that's the right thing to do. Pay up my bills, get my credit into a good place, which just at 650.
Look at you.
It sounds terrible when I think about it, but like, I mean, I'm 23, so didn't really have credit. Then made some bad decisions, and now I'm here with a 650.
Yep.
But I got everything paid up. I did everything right, and I had the money, and I had it comfortably, and I just told myself, all right, we get to make big boy purchases, and I made a big boy purchase.
Look at you.
And I'm happy. You know what? Can't complain. I'll bring it around at some point, because it, again, like playing Astro Boy, which is, or Astrobot, it's weird. You can't explain like the feeling of playing that game.
Right.
You have to just play it. So I'll definitely bring it around.
Well, it's like when I played the Oculus, my nephews, I was like, this is different.
Yeah. You can't explain like being in a game or having that controller in your hand.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
A little different.
100%.
Anyways, I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, that's my diatribe.
Sounds like a blast.
I'm probably going to head home and watch Godzilla on my PlayStation 5.
Ooh.
Yeah. HDR. 4K.
I'm probably going to go home and probably going to see Marcus sitting there.
Watching Godzilla. He's probably going to be starting it up one more time.
Dude. I mean, I watched the movie, I did, but I watched him watch the movie.
I think that's when you're a parent and you being a step parent, even still, you get to have that experience, and that is the best part about being a parent.
Yeah.
I one of my friends, acquaintances really, had a kid really early, like in high school.
Right.
And he was bringing home his son with their Switch, and they went and bought games. And that feeling, especially for me, because I remember this very clearly, of buying a game that you've been really wanting and not being able to play it in the car. So you're just like reading the back.
Yeah.
And just looking at it and staring at it the whole car ride home. He sent me a Snapchat. He was just like, oh man, it's just like ecstatic.
Yeah.
And it's the best feeling ever.
Dude, it truly is. Like just watching him, because like all the kids, or I say kids, I mean, they're probably in high school or college watching the movies with us, but they were up there in the top row. And Marcus was like, as soon as King Kong walked on the screen, Marcus, like ready to roll, bro. So he was letting everybody know up there, we are Team King Kong, okay? And everybody started laughing, and then and different people show up in the movie. He knows about them.
Oh,
so gosh. So what's funny? This was Wednesday night. So Tuesday night, I said Tuesday night, I said, all right, you want to watch Godzilla or King Kong to get ready for the movie tomorrow? Because we're going to go, right? He goes, yeah. So we go to HBO Max. HBO Max put out all of the old Godzilla movies.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I haven't checked my HBO Max, obviously.
The Japanese HBO movies, like the 70s, like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Holy cow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Marcus had me watch 1972 Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla in complete Japanese subtitles.
That is awesome.
So we watch it, and he watches the whole movie. And guess what I have to do during the whole movie?
Translate.
Read the subtitles. Yeah.
I feel like that's awesome though.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have fun doing that.
And he had a blast. It was so cheesy, but he loved it. But then to see the difference in that Godzilla and the new one, man, like,
oh yeah,
dude, the fight scenes are very well done.
So that's
for
the
CGI.
Thing. You have old Godzilla, which is intentionally campy.
Yeah.
Versus new Godzilla, even like that weird like Godzilla in name only American movie.
That stupid dinosaur Godzilla.
Yes. That is different than the campy Godzilla because it's American focused action.
Yeah.
Which is spectacle. You see the size, you see the big fight scenes with the nuclear laser and stuff like that, atomic breath. And so when you go back and you watch old Godzilla movies, you're like, this is stupid. But you have to think like that was what was cool back then. Like that was what people wanted to see.
Have you seen the 1962 Godzilla vs. King Kong?
I have not, but I've seen clips.
Have you seen the clip where they're bringing King Kong to the island where Godzilla is?
Yeah.
And it just looks like a bunch of strings and ropes are holding him together.
Yeah.
Just remember that part.
I just now
I need you to go back and watch that
before watching the new one.
Before watching the new one, just so you can see how cheesy that is.
I can imagine it's pretty cheesy, but
it looks like a King Kong puppet, is what it looks like.
I'll say this: because you've watched some of those, if it's on HBO Max, if they have those, I imagine they do. Shin Godzilla. I told you about that earlier. Gosh darn it. You've got to watch it.
I looked for it on Hulu. I looked for it on HBO Max. I looked for it on Netflix. And I've seen like a trailer for it on YouTube.
Yeah. It's somewhere because it's so good.
Yeah, I looked it up. I was going to watch it with him.
Yeah. Well, that one's definitely less of I think Shin Godzilla is probably not. It's not like it's a bad movie for kids because it's still Godzilla.
Yeah,
but it's less of like Godzilla is the good guy, and it's more of. Well, I said this when we talked about Godzilla for an hour. It's more of the like natural disaster kind of movie. It is like the day after, not the day after tomorrow, but like 2012 or what was that weird one with Matt Damon? It's like Geo Earth or whatever.
Oh, Geostorm.
Geostorm, yeah.
And is it Matt Damon? No, it's Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler, okay, yeah.
Did you ever see that one?
I did not.
Fantastic. I've watched it within the past 2 weeks.
Is it good?
It's fantastic.
I just can't believe you.
Okay, the picture of the movie has zero to do with the movie.
I mean, fair, but like,
no. So for years, I love these movies. And
do you like natural disaster movies?
Love them
because it's its own genre.
Yeah, right. Like Armageddon. Love Armageddon.
What's the? It's not 2012. What's the one with Nicolas Cage? The Knowing. Or something like that, where his kid sees the future. And
see, I haven't seen that one. I've seen it as I saw where it was a top natural disaster movie, but I haven't seen it.
It's like a solar flare is coming and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he's breaking down like the math and stuff behind it, like writing shit down. Yeah, he like sees stuff on walls and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's a weird movie. Yeah. It's a Nicolas Cage.
But like, 2012, love 2012.
San Andreas. I know you love that movie.
Have you named a rock movie I haven't loved? Yeah, but definitely love San Andreas.
Why do I think of Battleship when I think of these movies?
Battleship was great.
It's not a natural disaster movie, but it kind of is.
But it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a cheesy sci-fi movie that I wasn't expecting to be great, it's fantastic.
I just love the fact that the missiles that come out of the alien spaceship look like the little things playing Battleship.
I just love when the old men get together, listen to some AC/DC, going to crank that old Battleship. That's what I love.
I recently saw the Battleship drift.
Yeah.
Where they drop the
anchor and come around and hit them with the bombs. It's fantastic.
It's so stupid. Fantastic. I love it.
So 2012 is fantastic. Armageddon's great. But here's what I don't like. I don't like the core.
I've never seen that.
Not a
Never
fan.
heard of that.
So you got the core, and then you have there's another one that's very similar to the core, but they're all very similar to Armageddon.
Okay.
Not a fan.
Okay.
They have good actors, good budgets. They tried. Armageddon won.
Yeah.
But they say these other ones are pretty good. Like, I'm trying to think of the name of one of them, but there's the core, and then there's one more that's just like Armageddon, except it's a little bit different. I mean,
yeah.
If you had the top of man, see what you can come up with.
I'm just looking up natural disaster movies.
As soon as you, like, I love Volcano. Volcano's great.
Oh, Volcano, yeah.
Dante's Peak. There's
There's one just called Skyfire, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Geostorm.
Geostorm is fantastic.
You've said that.
Yes.
Deepwater Horizon.
That's all right.
Yeah. Into the Storm. I guess these are disaster movies, not natural disasters.
Yeah, not natural.
Because
that's gonna pull up Tornado.
Oh God,
or Twister.
Left Behind.
I don't know about that.
Oh man, I mean, okay.
Oh, Deep Impact.
Deep Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Deep Impact and the core are very similar, but they're very Armageddon-ish, even though that's
I feel like
space.
I feel like those are the kind of movies that like rival like production companies heard about. Like there was a rumor that somebody was making this movie called Armageddon. It's gonna have Aerosmith do the theme song. We've got to put out a movie of our own that's the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing.
And they make basically the same movie. Yeah. That is one of those things where I think China kind of cornered the market on.
Yeah.
Because they can just pump out movies that quick.
And they used to do that back in the day. Like if you had an Armageddon coming out, you'd have 2 movies come out at the same time from different studios.
And it's even worse in like the animation department. Because like Kung Fu Panda has at least 10 different parodies.
Oh, really?
And it's not parodies, it's ripoffs. And it's like Marshall Pandas and stuff like that. It's all like Chinese or B tier like production company studios in America that just like ride the wave of again, Kung Fu Panda is the biggest one, but like Kung Fu Panda having its release date set, all these other companies rush out shitty movies
just to get them out,
and then hoping grandma sees them. It's just like, oh, I think this is what Billy wanted.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna buy this, and then they get sales.
So there's another one that came out on Prime called Greenland.
Greenland?
Oh my God!
What is
Gerard Butler, bro?
Oh man. Can we talk a little bit about Gerard Butler and how he has kind of an under the hood or under, what am I trying to say?
Radar?
Under the radar, yeah. Like he does good movies, but you hear about Gerard Butler, like, okay, I know what to expect.
Yeah,
somewhat.
So I'm a huge 300 fan.
Oh, of course.
Like, and I did not realize that was Zack Snyder.
You didn't?
Nope. Had no clue.
Yeah, no. That is his style. 100%. Yeah. I think 300 is the best Zack Snyder movie because it leans into it enough.
Yeah.
Because you get the slow-mo shots where you want the slow-mo shots.
It makes sense now.
You get the right framing. And like, yeah, you watch Batman v Superman or Man of Steel. You're like, oh, I can see Gerard Butler shirtless kicking a guy off a cliff there.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a movie called Greenland that came out on Prime. It is one of the most realistic natural disaster movies.
Really?
Yeah.
See, like sometimes I don't like that.
Like current day. Like that, what's happening in that movie?
Is it an asteroid?
Yeah, it could happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't like that because it gives me anxiety. Listen, I already talked about my prepping bag. It's a one bag. Yeah. I'm not prepared for a meteor hitting the earth right now.
Dude, so this movie is based around, here's just a quick gist. So the news is talking about, there's in every scene, the news is playing in the background. And you can kind of hear the news.
That is okay. Good story writing.
So they're telling you the story without the actors doing it. So the whole beginning of the movie is there is an asteroid that's might hit us, but it's going to be a few 100,000 feet off or something like that. You know how asteroids are. It might hit us. It's going to come within 1 in 18 miles, you know? And it's like, so the odds of it hitting us is less than 99.9987%.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, cool. Then it's like the next day and you're getting a text if you're one of the chosen ones to show up to an Air Force base to get on a airplane to go to safety. And they're only taking like certain type of people that have certain type of jobs to build the next civilization.
Wow.
All right. So then the next thing's like Gerard Butler getting the text that he's up with his wife who he's like having issues with, his kid who has diabetes, who's got to have his insulin shots, and all their neighbors who didn't get the text.
Ooh.
And they're all trying to get him to give their kids to him for him to take them. And he's leaving. His wife's arguing with him. The kid's scared. He forgets his insulin. They get to the Air Force base. Now they're not taking kids with insulin. Like, dude, it's incredible.
Again, I hate those movies because they give me anxiety.
Yeah.
I remember, this is going to sound terrible and stupid, but I remember it was way too early for me to watch something like this, but it was like a national or Discovery Channel or Sci-Fi Channel thing. It was just talking about like, oh yeah, we're eventually going to get hit by a meteor. And I think it was like the projected one that is certain to hit us. Like its trajectory is right on track to hit Earth unless something changes, was like 2059 or 2060 or something like that. And I remember like being 5 and hearing that and just breaking down. So it was just like, I don't want to die. Like, it's stupid because I have, literally my entire life before that happens, but it gives me anxiety 100%. And like, yeah, no, that is exactly what would happen. People do dumb shit, especially under pressure. That is why 2020 went the way it did.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly realizing I am not going to be one of those chosen few.
Well, yeah, I probably won't be either. But
we'll make it.
I'll kill some people to get there.
Yeah.
And the other one, what was the other one? Geostorm?
Geostorm, yeah.
So Geostorm, when you look at it on the surface of reading a book by the cover, which you shouldn't do, remember?
Hey, man, I've been right more times than not.
I'm with you. It looks like a tidal wave is hitting someone up next to like a bank or something.
That's not what I've seen for Geostorm.
That's not what you've seen for Geostorms? Okay, so for what Geostorm is, Gerard Butler is this guy who has created this Elon Musk type net around the Earth.
Okay.
To counteract storms because they've gotten so bad.
Oh, yeah. I looked into this movie. I remember the trailers. Like he makes this net to control weather, and then something either bad happens or terrorists get it and they start making storms.
Yeah, it's called United States government.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're about to sign an international deal to where one person from each country will have a person up there, and it's going to be a global matter because it's, counteracting global warming in the climate to save the Earth.
Yeah.
And the United States said, this is our weapon. This is our toy.
Yeah.
Let's just freeze Afghanistan overnight, and let's just blow up Hong Kong overnight.
Wow.
And then they'll think that something's wrong with it, so nobody will want to be involved with it, and then we'll just write more shit and we'll own it.
Mm.
So Gerard Butler made it. They get rid of him. They send him out.
Of course, yeah.
And then, he's got to go back up there
to
save the day because his brother's in charge of the White House part of who goes up there. And it's a setup, Ethan. It's a setup the entire time. And the president is fucking us.
Well, I don't think Kamala Harris is. Well, she might want to fuck you.
It's Kamala Harris.
No. We've had such a good podcast. We're 45 minutes in. We don't need to go into this.
Wait a minute. Listen, have you?
I have kept up with everything. Do not ask me that question. You know me.
Have you heard the man speak at a press conference?
Was the press conference last Thursday?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, my God. watching that.
Well,
and it's here's the thing.
Anyways,
No. You can't just say it like that. That makes it sound like he was gonna say something and he stopped. It was, yeah, we're gonna do this, and this. As president, I am whatever.
Anyways,
like what? I did it on my new TV. That was one of the first things I played through my YouTube, through the TV, not through my PlayStation, not 4 at the time, not through anything else. I watched it on my TV, so I saw it in 4K, high definition, HDR, 60 frames per second, whatever it was. I saw the president of the United States have a fucking mental breakdown. Well, I had the mental breakdown. He had mental mishaps.
Anyways.
Oh my God. Now,
I would start the podcast over if I did that.
Oh yeah. Like if you honestly were having just like a bad day, a concussion, something, and you just like in the middle of a sentence just said, whatever.
Anyways.
Well, next question.
Anyways.
Nancy, what are we doing?
Yeah. Who's working out the border? Kamala.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job. No, she's not, Joe.
Let's just do this rapid fire. Get it out of the way right now, so we can move on. Talk about something we like talking about. Biden's press conference last week made me cry because I just couldn't keep watching it. I did. I watched the entire thing front to back, so you didn't have to. Our president of the United States, Joseph Biden, did terribly. That's all I'm going to say. Like, you just need to watch it if you really want to have your personal take on if the president of the United States has dementia or not. I'm not going to say that, but
here's my thing. I'm not saying Trump was the nicest guy.
Trump was not a nice guy.
The best president of all time.
He was not the best president of all time. He was a decent president.
Yeah, I think he was fine.
He was better than what everyone else.
But you know what he did do? He made us seem strong. He made us seem stable.
I will push back on that a little bit because we've talked about this. First 2 years, President Trump was not great. Did not start off great. He hired bad people.
But he fired bad people.
He fired them. But let's be honest here. The first 2 years are what people care about more, because then the next 2 years after that, you're campaigning, you're worried about getting reelected, and you're doing dumb shit.
His third year was pretty damn strong.
Year 3 was the strongest. I will say that. But then you get to year 4 and you have to deal with election year, and 2020 being as it is, he had a bunch of other stuff pitted against him.
Yeah, that doesn't even count.
So, it's one of those things where I am not going to say Trump was the best president, because he wasn't. I have withholdings for who is the best president we've ever had, because I'm a history buff and I know my shit. I'm just going to say this. Theodore Roosevelt is Bamf.
Yeah.
Like I did a deep dive a couple weeks ago. That was just like, I did a YouTube haul. I did one last night about what was it? John Henry, Paul Bunyan, American folk tales. That's what's the last topic, by the way.
Well, did you ever see the trailer of The Rock? He's going to play John Henry for Netflix.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Sounds absolutely incredible.
That sounds amazing, man.
And all the little tit babies on the interweb got all butthurt about it because he's not 100% black. He's Samoan also.
All right. Sorry, Gunner's parents, for what I'm about to say, but fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Name one other Paul Bunyan looking motherfucker. I mean, like, or John Henry.
Yeah. Like, God, could you imagine who played Clegane in Game of Thrones? The Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He could play a good Paul Bunyan though.
Yeah, maybe.
He's huge.
Half his face doesn't work.
That's true.
And
that's all the steroids.
Well, no, it's the
it's all the natural
Bell's
testosterone. Well, I didn't know there was an actual thing. I thought you were making a joke.
Yeah, no, there's Bell's palsy.
Oh, geez. Now I feel like a terrible person.
Yeah, half his face is numb.
Oh man, I feel
Throws me
terrible.
off.
I just like heavy bubbles.
So one of my, I hope he's not listening to this. One of my buddy's girlfriends face did that to herself.
Oh my god, I feel terrible.
They're not dating anymore, but they were on their way back from Hawaii, and we went to go eat, and she showed up, and they didn't tell me this. Like, it's one of those things where like it can come and go, or it can stay forever.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
So she gets back from Hawaii with him. We go to eat, and like I just happened to look up her. It's the first time I've like made eye contact with her since we've been like eating or whatever. And she's eating soup. It's like drinking soup. And she's going to get soup, and like half of it falls out of her mouth because half her mouth doesn't work. And I look up and I was like, what is wrong with your face? And she was like, they told me the whole story, and I was like, y'all got to warn me before you come and eat with me. I'm the wrong one to come eat with. Like, half your face don't work.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, we need to reschedule.
Anyway, let's get back to politics so we can get through this. I want to talk more about American folktales because that's just been a thing in my head. But no, yeah, Biden did bad.
This looks weak.
Yeah, just makes us feel terrible. What about the migrant crisis, Gunner? What do you think about that?
Well, we've got Kamala down at the border. She's doing a bit of democracy down there. She's going to be great. She's going to be fantastic.
Sir. She hasn't left yet. She hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, so she's down there. She's democratizing. She's in the middle down there. She's going to make everything great and going to really smooth it out.
President Biden, what do you? What's your take on the migrant crisis? We're dealing with it. We're gonna get everything settled. It's not as bad as you think. We're working on it. We're gonna get through. I've sent Kamala down there. Mr. President, I'm right here. You're going tomorrow. You're going tomorrow. What were we talking about?
Anyway,
I love your anyway.
So yeah, we'll let you guys know what's going on after we get it figured out. All right, cool.
And
come on, man.
And the current discourse about it, like everyone on the right is just like, hey, this is a problem. It was a problem before that we all understood. But right now it's really bad because Biden has said, come on in. Water's fine.
I didn't say that. We are rejecting, we're singles, and we're rejecting some families. We're taking some kids, putting them in cages. They're okay.
Under a bridge. Did you see that?
We're building hotels.
Did you see where there was like 8,000 people? Or I don't know specific numbers. Anybody that's listening to this, please look it up so you know exactly what's going on. But there are photos of people under a bridge that I think Project Veritas, which depending on where you are on the political spectrum, you may not like or dislike Project Veritas. That's up to you. But this is a picture from people that work the border, like not like border agents, but like the people that are organizing everything.
Yeah,
like the people that are helping, and not just detaining. The person sent them a video and a picture of just like it's under a bridge, and there's barely any laying room of just people and then border agents walking around. It's stupid.
Ted Cruz went down there and started filming.
Ted Cruz pulled an Alex Jones. Did you see that?
And started filming.
It was hilarious watching that because I just got Alex Jones vibes of like him out his like I just remember this one video of Alex Jones. He's just outside at like his burn pit. And he's just talking to the camera. It's just a really white light blaring down on him.
Dude, so Alex Jones, I go through phases. Like I let a couple months die down, and then I go on like a 1 week Alex Jones.
Did you see
kick.
him? We talked about him on Flagrant, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's great. He needs to be a comedian.
It'd be funny.
Yeah. He should do the voice for Megatron. Or Optimus Prime.
No. Not Optimus Prime. He should be like anyway, you go in phases.
Yeah, I go in phases. So like I'm gonna check him out here pretty soon. But what's crazy to me is that even if I go in phases, right, and I remember so much of what Alex Jones does, he does it every day. That's his life. Every day. And whether you turn his show on in 6 months or 12 months or 18 months, he's bringing that same energy to whatever day you turn it on.
Hey, it works. And I have fallen out of the Alex Jones train because not because of any animus. Like I understand who Alex Jones is. He has my respect in like old Alex Jones, but then I know too much of like what has happened in recent years, and it just gets me too like, it's too muddy, if that makes sense. It's like, sure, he's doing the same thing every day, which I mean, every other YouTuber I watch does that.
Right.
So it's not that. It's just being in the position Alex Jones is, and just it's not even him doubling down anymore. It's just him it's not a bad thing, but for me, it's just one of those things I just don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
It's just him saying the same thing every day.
Right.
You know?
It's like you're eventually going to be right if you say the same thing every day.
You're eventually going to be right, or you're always going to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I just don't necessarily think that's conducive to who I want to be. Because I'm going to be honest with you, like within the last 6 months, I've changed a little bit more to the left. Not like I've not given up my principles, but like there have been things that I've just been like, you know what? I was wrong. Everything else I was right about, so fuck you. But there are a few things that I could be wrong about.
What are you wrong about?
I was wrong about, just a few things. I'm not going to get into it, but
we'll get into it next time.
Well, we'll talk about it someday. But I've definitely, I have definitely mellowed out. Especially after last year.
You're tired.
I am tired, and that's what kills me.
That's not moving to the left. That's just.
Well, no. I have moved. I've always been dead center, to be fair. But like, there's some things that, yeah. Anyway,
you're just tired.
I'm tired, but there are things that I've not flip flopped. I will say that I've not like. It's not like gun rights. I've not gone from, oh yeah, everyone needs a gun to nobody needs a gun.
Right.
It's not like that. It's just like it's interpersonal stuff. How about that?
Okay.
It's just like maybe I need to take a step back and be like, maybe not everyone I know needs to be a certain way.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible saying it like that, but it's nothing major.
No, I'm with you.
But But now, moving on. Speaking of the border crisis, AOC, she's terrible as always.
She's an ASS. I'm so tired of her.
She and man, the fact that she came out less than a week ago and said, "We need to stop talking about the border crisis like it's a military operation. There is no surge. It comes in waves." Ma'am, waves surge. I don't know if you know that. And then here recently, within the last 24 hours, saying, "This is a crisis. We need to do something."
That's her?
Yeah. Like less than over a week ago, she was saying, "It's not that bad. We need to stop worrying about it so much." A year ago, she was at the border crying at the fence because kids were out on the other side of the fence and she couldn't help them because they're illegal immigrants. And then a year goes by. Now Biden is in and she's on the winning side. "Oh, it's not that bad. You don't need to be worrying about it now." And then when she gets backlash because people aren't that fucking stupid and people know that's a bad thing and people know that people are literally dying because they're getting either traversing all of Mexico, which is honestly a freaking miracle on itself. Either they die on that trek or they get there. They don't have food. They don't have water. They don't have places to use the bathroom. They can't shower. This is a crisis.
Yeah.
And when people say that, then she flip-flops back to, "Oh my gosh, this is a crisis." I can't stand it. It infuriates me.
She's 30 years old. I flip-flop too. Yeah,
no. Like, hear me out. AOC is one of those people I can respect because she is the closest I think we have to being just a normal person and then just rising in popularity and becoming a congresswoman.
Yeah.
Like that is part of like not the necessarily the American dream, but like that's how it should be. Like she saw an issue, she heard about it, she learned about it, and then I don't know if she actually went to school for it, but she applied herself and became somebody that is in power.
Right.
But now that she's in power, she's not doing anything for anybody other than herself.
Stop learning.
She is a celebrity
Yeah.
at this point. And that's what it's no different than Trump. Trump was a celebrity, and then he gets into politics. She did the other way around, and we're still not anywhere where we want to be.
Yep.
She's pushing these things that she wants, sure, that people I know agree with her and really like her. But she's not doing anything for anybody. She's not helping anybody in New York.
She almost
in her
got
district.
killed at the Capitol.
I forgot she was in 3 buildings away.
Oh, that's
and
right.
she was afraid for her life.
Well, when you talk about government staged events, sometimes 3 buildings away fall down.
Damn. All right, I'm gonna have to mute us there or lower us there because that just clipped heavily. Yeah, no, I'm getting mad thinking about it because it's one of those things where like we all agree it's bad, and there are ways that we can fix this that would be very, very quick, but nobody wants to do
Civil
those
War.
things. No, but those things are also the conservative point of view. The liberal point of view at this point is only prolonging this.
Yes.
If people can, you don't even have to go full conservative on it. You just have to give the concession of, hey, we're not doing this right. We need everyone's help to do this right.
Real quick, everyone coming into the United States of America should have to fill in a little multiple choice question. One question. If you get this question wrong, even kind of wrong, you don't get to come in. And that
Dwayne
question
Johnson
is
for president.
Nope. That question is, should transgenders be able to play women's sports? The answer to that question, and the only answer to that question, is hell no.
I mean, they can play men's sports.
Hell yeah, sure. Yeah, fine. If you're a dude became a girl, you want to play dude sports?
No. Women can be in the NBA. There's just no women that's passed the
Yeah, they're not going to make
the
it.
test.
Yeah.
So, I mean, actually, you know what? We'll just say it. That is one of those things where I've not necessarily in the sports category, but that's one of the things that I've kind of like not been so conservative on. It's just like, let people be people. Like let them do whatever they want, except for
Sure.
sports
Yes.
where you're beating up or playing
Or going to
against
the
women.
bathroom.
I mean,
No.
that's where I'm a little. It's muddy.
No, kinda not. The most simple thing in this world is when you're born, you either have balls or you don't.
I mean, some men don't have balls.
You either have a penis or you don't.
Some men don't have dicks either.
Who are these men?
Oh, I was making a joke like soy boys.
Oh,
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
never. Oh,
that was a joke. That was a
gotcha.
joke.
Okay. So literally, you're either born with balls or you're not born with balls. And then you get to go to the bathroom in one of the places. One of those places has balls. One of those places doesn't.
I
have
mean,
balls.
personally, at this point, I'm one of those people that thinks we just need to have 1 for male, 2 for female, and a 3rd family or non-discriminatory. And it's just a 3rd bathroom that anybody can use. And if you really just don't care, you just walk in. Men, women, anybody can just go in. It works. I don't know. I'm not transgender. I don't care.
I do.
I know. And again, that's one of those things where maybe I am just getting tired. You're right. Never mind. I just don't care to fight about it.
Well, it's infuriating.
Except for like in sports. That's where I still draw the line.
Yeah, but that's the biggest thing. Like, there's dudes breaking women records.
Yeah.
Like world records.
And dudes literally beating up women.
Yes.
And they're getting away with it. Like,
Are beating the track record.
Now that is I'm not arguing with you. Like that's one of those things where I could care less. Like I get it. If you're running track as a woman and you're getting beaten by somebody that has been male all the way up until 2 years ago when they started doing hormone therapy, but they still have the muscle density and the fast twitch fibers of a male physique, and they beat you, and they literally cut the the record for women in half, I feel like there's some BS there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. That frustrates me.
Anyway, let's talk about something happy for the last couple minutes that we have. Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, John Henry. These stories have made me happy. You want to know why? Because they remind me of what America is. They're American. They're American folk tales. And it's one of those things where I have been in multiple conversations here lately because of the hashtag Stop Asian Hate.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about that because as the Asian person in the room, I don't really care.
Well,
it does not matter because I can tell you 3 things that will end any conversation about it. 1, the multitude of Asian hate crimes that have occurred within the last 3 years, well, 2019, 2020, 2021, have not been committed by white people. The Asian hate crime that everyone was up in arms about that happened in Atlanta, of all places, here recently, was not directly connected to Asian hate. It was an entirely different thing, and it actually brings up one of the worst things about being Asian in America, especially Asian and female, and as the sex trafficking industry that happens and is a very big deal, but nobody cares about it until something happens like this. And then everyone's up in arms, but for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
And every Asian person I've talked to about it have said, we don't care that we care that he shot people. I'm trying to mince words. We care that it happened and we're upset. But we're not thinking that he did it because they were Asian. He did it because they were people in a certain industry that helped him achieve things that he wanted. Trying to keep this a little bit more family friendly, even after we drop F-bombs.
Yeah.
But massage parlors, I mean, it's basically just massage parlors that he went to, but he was planning on going to Florida to hit up a porn studio or something like that. That is what he said he was going to do. And he said this is not because of race. You want to know why? Because he was also shooting white people and one Hispanic person.
Wait a minute. First of all, that's racist. The fact that you even brought up the fact that he killed some white people is racist because he killed more Asian people, and we need to stop this Asian crime. Those white people, they died. But the Asian people, we need to stop this from ever happening again, okay?
And
you're racist.
Yes, of course. I'm Asian.
You Asian racist.
We're xenophobic to the max.
Yes.
Anyway, and my third point that just kind of sets the tone for any conversations you ever have with me about my Asian heritage. Asian people have been oppressed this entire time and nobody said a thing. I had to have a 400-point higher score on my SAT to get into a college that I wanted to get into.
Because you're Asian.
Than my best friend in high school, who was white, and our mutual friend, who was African American. He had to have 400 points less than me to get into the same school. He was the one that brought it up to me, and he was pissed about it. And then you get to the point in that Asian people have been told that we are not minorities in this country because we're too white. We look white. It's no different. We're doing good. We're not oppressed. Nobody's ever racist towards Asians.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? It makes me livid because I am half Asian, half white. I'm a minority of a minority. And especially in the Asian community, I get 2 options. I'm either, especially when I'm younger, I either got, well, no, when I was younger, I always got, oh my gosh, mixed kid. I love him. He's so adorable. He's so cute. Because I was a scrawny Asian kid with big cheeks.
Yeah.
Grandmothers love that.
Yeah.
Asian grandmothers that used to be tiger moms, but now have like lived through that, and now that they're the sweet old Asian lady, they loved me.
Yeah, it's great.
But now that I'm older, I'm just some freaking white Asian dude. Nobody gives a shit. Asian people don't like me. Now, I will say this, not the majority, but like just the same as your old crazy uncle that lived through the through the 60s and probably wasn't on the right side of history. Asians have the same thing. We have those weird older people that are purists. How about that? We'll just put it that way. And I get so much flack for it. And it's stupid. But that's not just me. Asians alone have been not as bad. I'll never say that we have had it the worst. But we did get put into concentration camps on American soil. So, yeah, it's not necessarily all good and happy. But guess what? Asians are still doing the best.
You know what's funny?
What?
So I saw a meme.
You're gonna break this super tense subject with a meme.
And it had it was a person's house. One of the signs in the yard said Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
One of the signs in the yard said Asian Lives Matter.
Yeah.
One of the signs in the yard said Hispanic Lives Matter. One of the signs in the yard said the LGBTQ community lives matter.
Yeah.
And then it showed somebody holding a sign that said all lives matter and was like walking to their front yard to replace all their other signs with the stupid slogan they think's racist because they've got all the other fucking signs in there already.
What's amazing to me is the hashtag all lives matter people. That I can understand where people like are from like the BLM movement look at that and they're like, but we're trying to say something. Why are you trying to, silence us by saying your thing louder?
Right.
I understand that. And for those people that I know that honestly have grievances that aren't just like the ACAB people or the BLM people, but they're like, okay, I agree with them on the offset. Like on principle, I agree with them.
Right.
But those are also the people that after about 3 days were like, oh yeah, no. I'm not associated with those people anymore.
Right.
Because they understood what was happening. But those same people are also the people that are now saying hashtag all lives matter. None of them white, by the way. Yeah. And that's what's frustrating because Asian people matter. Yes. Hispanic people matter. Of course. Black people matter. Of course. And honestly, you know what? I can agree with BLM to an extent because, hey, it was a raw deal. A lot of people that came, not as many people as people think, but a lot of people that are alive today do have things that are affecting them today that were in, you can trace it right back to the source.
Right.
But that is a smaller number than you think. And white lives matter because
no, the American whites don't matter.
American whites don't matter. And white lives matter because I don't like looking at my friends and them saying hashtag, Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, especially now, especially with Asian Lives Matter, me being Asian, them saying those things. And then when I say, but guys, you matter too. And then them saying, no, BLM, ALM. Why are you discrediting yourself? You matter. Like, again, maybe this is a liberal in me. You matter to an extent.
No.
I don't understand it. Maybe it's the self-preservation in me. That's just like, I don't want other people to say things that are literally contradictory to their own existence. Like hashtag all white people are racist. I look at my white friends that have said that. I'm like, then why are you talking to me? Why am I, if every white person is racist,
all of us,
if all you white people, y'all are all racist.
I claim Cherokee.
Of course. I am Asian. But if all white people are racist, why am I listening to the white people that are saying that they're racist?
Well, here's where we should go with this. If we wanted to fix America right now, nobody's life matters.
I mean, I agree. At this point, we've talked about it. We're tired.
And then everybody would start saying everybody's life matters.
We just need to go into the self-loathing in Las Vegas. What's the I don't think it's like a political thing. It's just like a way of life or a way of seeing life. What's it called when you're like
a pessimist?
Yeah, no, not pessimist.
Or optimist.
No. It's something else. But it is pessimist. It's just like a nihilist or something like that. It's just like nothing matters. Nothing matters. We don't. I don't care.
I like to call that I don't careist.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where if you care about yourself, you shouldn't care about anything else.
The less you care, the better.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the most like sympathetic way. But a lot of the people that I know that have had personal struggles and have gotten through it are happier. And the people that have been privileged, because I mean, we can both agree that there's like a class privilege, especially in America. The people with class privilege that have kind of scooted by their entire lives and hadn't really struggled until they got to an adulthood, and now they're kind of struggling, but they're at the lowest point in their lives. They're the ones that are the lowest. Like they're unhappy.
Yeah.
And they're also the ones that are fighting for things that, I mean, everyone agrees with, but you're going about it the wrong way.
Dude, so the whole class thing, like they say, like if you're born white, you already have the upper hand. Not true.
Bitch. Again, I was born to a white mom. I got mixed up plenty of times.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, dude, like I didn't like just have all the money growing up and get to do whatever I wanted to whenever I wanted to. Like, dude, I had to work hard and bust ass. And like even all that got me to UTC. It's not like it got me to the University of Miami. Yeah. Like, you know, and then go to a new job and learn logistics. Yeah. You just got to do it.
Even Chris, who, when you look at Chris now and you look at his family, you're like, oh my God, that guy had a silver spoon from the day he was born. No. If you've ever if you know like Chris McNally's story beyond like who he is now and looks back at it, you're like, oh, he actually he's seen a few things.
Yeah.
He always says he was raised by wolves. So, I mean, you don't turn out like a Chris McNally or a Gunner Miller or an Ethan without having done some shit, having to bust ass.
Yeah, like
to work for what you've got.
Failure breeds success. So, like, you have to fail. Yeah. And a bunch of these pussies out there these days don't want to take any chances to risk failure. But they just want to tell you failed because
I think there's something there has to be some empathy there, because just because we had it one way doesn't mean we should resent people that had it better. You know what I mean?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if you have it better, then you shouldn't be bitching.
But at the same time, we don't necessarily, because I believe more in nurture versus nature. I think like you can't necessarily hate on somebody that's literally never had to work a day in their life, because they never had to work a day in their life. Like I'm sure if they grew up the same way you did, you'd be more similar.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me.
I have met a lot of people that literally were born to like lawyers and dentists as parents.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
they just never had to do anything. They got their first car from their parents, and like they've worked now because they're adults.
Yeah.
But they have such a different perspective.
Yeah.
So, and you can't blame them for that.
Those kids, I never worried about those kids because I know I was going to be better than them anyways.
Exactly.
Just because they didn't have to put in the work. But I've met kids that were raised like that turned out okay because something inside of them or their parents kind of told them this is not going to be easy. Just because we have everything doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
What's funny is when
you get the ones that don't do that and they just don't, they're not around their kids and they just give them shit just to make them feel happy. And those kids end up becoming politicians these days and giving out
they end up being bad people.
Yeah.
The affluent generation.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, no. What's funny to me when you say it like that, and this isn't necessarily to get into the race thing, but like, I feel like a lot of what's funny is a lot of the latter ones, the bad people that you've mentioned. Yeah. They're not bad people, but the shitheads of the recent generations have been white. But I have found more often than not, the ones that are the former that you mentioned, the people, the parents that actually were like, we've got all the money so that you can make your own decisions, but you have a safety net. Yeah. Like, but they're also like the tiger moms and like,
you're not going to struggle.
You're not going to struggle, but we want you to try.
You're going to learn.
Yes. Have all been either Asian families that have lived here for a while or immigrant families, Nigerian families, Cambodian families, South African families.
The immigrant mentality is something that more Americans need.
Here's the thing. Because of the immigrant crisis, and we're going a little long, I'm enjoying this because I got heated. Honestly, there is a part of me that wants to say, like, if you've walked the entirety of Mexico to get here, risked your life.
And you're 9 years old, you deserve a medal, but go ahead.
Yes. If you're not, have you seen the story of like the 9-year-old kid with his little sister?
I don't believe it, but you can go ahead.
Well, I don't, you can't always believe everything, but like, if that is true, that kid shouldn't just get sent home. Like there is something that should be done for that kid.
Yeah.
But
build him a mansion in Texas.
Even the families that do that, you obviously, like as a parent, you obviously, for Marcus, would you ever take Marcus across the entirety of a country that is known for its gang violence and just high murder rate?
No.
To get to America?
No.
But they did. That's what fascinates me. And I respect it wholeheartedly because it takes a certain kind of person to do that or to make that decision, but then also the same and a different kind of person to make it. And I can't say that I just want them all to get sent back. A lot of them probably should because they're not going to help society. Yeah. But I feel like those families that have done that probably should get some sort of help.
I'm no expert on the border, but I'm pretty sure Trump had something in line where you filled out some paper, and if you did it the right way, you got to come to our country.
It was just the staying in Mexico policy. You stay in Mexico for about 3 months. I think again, look up everything.
Yeah.
Don't quote me because I'm just a dumbass on the internet. But if you asked to come in, but you also made the journey yourself, you had a better chance of getting in than if you just said, I'm seeking asylum and then rushed up here as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where there are certainly people in this world that want to be here more than Americans do.
Yeah, sure.
So personally, I know for a fact, one of them, well, I know an immigrant personally that I work with currently. He is fascinating. He's Cambodian. He is awesome. But he's also the kind of guy that I don't know that I've ever seen him outside of work. And he works for both the shops, Brainerd and Hickson. He doesn't work there. He doesn't work both every day. But I think his one off day from Hickson, he works in Brainerd. And he just works. And he comes in, he's the first one in, and he leaves a little bit, probably 2 hours after like I do, midday shift. And it's fascinating. And he doesn't care. He's like, I'm working. I love this. He's Cambodian. He has broken English. He has very good English for being how old he is. I don't know his whole life story, but you can tell that
he's there to serve.
He is there to work and to live the American dream. And it kills me because I know for a fact that like I can name 5 people right now that are acquaintances of mine, not even friends of mine, but acquaintances that just do not understand that.
Yeah.
They just don't get it. They work, but they don't even give a shit about their job. They're just working so that they can get paid so they can smoke and fool around with people. Like it's fascinating.
Speaking of, we're about to get off here, and then we got to have an off-camera conversation.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. But no, like that guy, the guy I work with, it's fascinating because I think he like once in a while he'll have a poker night with friends. But other than that, I've never heard of him doing anything other than work. He goes home, he does, you know, he mentioned to me like working on a sound system so he can have blaring music.
Yeah.
But like other than that, he doesn't. There's something about the immigrant personality, the mindset of I have to work so I can have stuff for my kids. And when I am gone, they will have enough.
Yeah. Save money and grind.
Mm-hmm. And not enough people know that. Not enough people hustle. Not enough people grind. People just clock in, clock out, do whatever I want.
Yeah, they go autopilot during the day so they can get home and go autopilot at night. And then you wake up and you're 40.
Yeah. I've tried to break out of that here recently.
Yep, it's hard. That's something you got to focus on every day, man.
All right. Well, we went half an hour earlier or later than we expected.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. We'll break down the Southern Honor Show, see if I survive through that bad boy. We'll break down a new gym. Remind me for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out.
Got a new gym to go to, a little private gym up in Saudi Daisy, which is absolutely badass. Love it. Been there awesome. Past 2 weeks. So,
and I guess next week we'll also break down Godzilla because we'll have both seen it and want to talk about it.
All right, and then we'll preview Mortal Kombat.
Oh man, man, you can't say stuff like that. Now I'm excited about Mortal Kombat.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.